Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about this. I don't even know where Gleipnir's going anymore, and we're only on episode 2. But before we get into my thoughts on the second episode of Gleipnir, I do want to give a big thank you to those of you who shared last week's video over on Twitter. At Bubblubber, at Infamous519, at Matt87Eagle, at Alexius, and at Sirius9752. Thank you all so much for sharing last week's video over on Twitter, everybody, and if you too would like to have your name shouted out in next week's Gleipnir video, then be sure to share this video around on the internet, and then tag me at JoJo Talks Too Much over on Twitter, and I will be sure to shout your name out in next week's video. Okay, so this week's episode of Gleipnir is an interesting one. There's two things in particular that I can really think of that I want to immediately start with. And the first thing I'm going to talk about, because if there's anything on this channel, right, anything about this crazy, wacky YouTube channel that we are cultivating here, you can rely on me for one of two things. I'm either going to talk about symbolism, specifically color symbolism, or I'm going to talk about shipping and shipping things. And I was not expecting to gain a ship from Gleipnir. It just didn't strike me as that kind of show. And yet here I stand, shipping Shuichi and Claire, and that is not something I thought would actually happen, because I thought Claire was going to be super stereotypical, I thought Shuichi was going to be annoying as shit, and I don't know what I expected. Like, I don't know what I expected from the show itself. A part of me was thinking, like, is this going to be like a hot trash kind of show? Like, is this going to be one of those so bad it's good type of shows? Because it seemed like that crazy, zany, like classic, like cheesy anime plot, right? Where everything's just off the wall insane. And don't get me wrong, everything is still off the wall insane, including the ship that we're about to talk about. But the ship itself kind of sails the show into being something really impressive, and then the other part of the episode that we're going to talk about is what really seals the deal for me and makes the second episode not only better than the first, but tells me that this show is just going to be straight up good. Not so bad it's good, just straight up really good. And the first thing we got to talk about is the ship. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way. We all know what was up with the whole zipper thing. Like, that scene is so like dink, like so on the nose, that I was kind of shocked. Do you really, like, and I had a feel, I was like, somebody's gonna say, like, what's the symbolism and that's supposed to mean, JoJo? It's like, come on, bro. Come on, dude. You know what that is. I don't even gotta tell you what that is. I was shocked, because, like, is the whole show supposed to be a metaphor for that? I don't think so, but that scene certainly was a metaphor for something, all right. And again, just kind of cements this as a ship, because it's like, well, they already like metaphorically banged. She climbed inside him, role reversal and a half. But anyway, it was interesting. It was interesting. Now, and I can't be. Maybe this is just the asexual side of me. But did anybody else get like really grossed out? That was really gross. Like, not only was it like gross in a like what is actually happening, but even just like the phrases and what was being said and heard and the noises and ugh. The word moist was the first thing that popped into my head, and I was like, yeah, just ugh. But the ship itself, genuinely kind of, well, genuine. I'm surprised to say that. Not only do these characters legitimately need each other, and not only do these characters quote-unquote become one, but they actually do make each other better characters. Now, normally I say that when I'm talking about certain ships, right? Where like both characters are good on their own, but make each other better. With Gleipnir, both characters could have been entirely stereotypical, right? Claire could have been easy, like yandere, like crazy chick, and Shuichi could have easily been the next Shinji, and he kind of is, in fairness, but like, he feels different, and so does Claire. They actually feel as though they're like genuine characters, and that's because of the bond that forms between them. Like, when Claire tells him, like, listen, no matter what happens, I will do my best to take care of you. I will be there. And if it comes down to it, and you're gonna die, I'll be right beside you. Like, no matter what happens, like, I will meet you there. And she, like, actually proves that by leaping off that bridge to show, like, listen, like, I'm not screwing around. If you actually want out, we'll just leave. We'll just bow out of this whole thing. Like not only this game, but life itself. Like, if you don't team with me, then that's fine. But if you do team with me, I will be there for you 100%. And I don't know, like, it was like demented, but still like it like charming in a dark, twisted way. The show is interesting, man, and I can't help it. I'm kind of involved now. Like a part of me was kind of debating, like, am I going to continue to cover the show, or can I just watch this on my own? This episode was like, no, I have to talk about this. I don't care if this doesn't do the best for views. I need to talk about this demented, beautifully twisted show, and the ship is part of it. And the other big part of it is the fight. The fight is wild, like genuinely wild. And they make Little Miss Trackstar, aka Hikawa, who I will be referring to as Little Miss Trackstar, her rationale for why she is doing what she is doing is sound. It's not like something that I agree with, but I understand her standpoint in what she's doing. Like, I actually get her as a character. And considering she is very much a one-off character, very much, I was surprised that they actually gave her depth at all. Like, you could have just made her, like, some crazy obstacle that they're gonna have to fight, and then they take her down, and then it is what it is. But no, like, not only does she actually get some level of development, but it's actually kind of given me Devilman Crybaby vibes. There's a lot of, like, moments in this episode. Like, earlier I mentioned Shinji, and that's because the ship does actually kind of give me Darling in the Franxx / Ava vibes. More so Franxx, actually. But just the whole idea of, like, two people become one to pilot a monstrous thing. Like, it's very Franxx. And the whole thing with Hikawa is very Devilman Crybaby, and I do mean that in a very good way. It's not like straight up Devilman Crybaby, but I'm not gonna lie, when Little Miss Trackstar was on the track, part of me was expecting her to straight up do the Akira run. I'm not gonna lie. And when the fight actually breaks down in this sort of like abandoned lot, or not abandoned, but in this like factory lot, I guess, whatever, with all these like big crates all like lining like the area, it is an intense as hell fight. And it takes up a huge chunk of the episode as well, and it is impressive stuff, like genuinely impressive stuff. My kudos to the animators who worked on this, in particular Hirotoshi Arai and Hirofumi Okita, who worked on the former working on the first half of the fight, and the latter working on the second half of the fight. And let's go ahead and talk about Arai's section of the fight, because the way the fight opens, it lets you know, like, this is gonna be tough, because, like, immediately Little Miss Trackstar is kicking the crap out of our two heroes. Like, and I mean, like, laying in hit after hit, and these hits are heavy. Like Arai manages to infuse a lot of weight into each hit, and like you feel it, man. Like the way every hit you get the recoil, right? Like you see Shuichi like recoil from it in a way that's very like it's hard to explain. Like it's just heavy. You get the squash and stretch like element to the fight, where like when somebody gets hit, you see them like bounce off the side of one of those one of those tanks, and it makes a dent in the metal and their head pops back up. It's brutal stuff. And then it's cranked up to 11 when Okita shows up to animate the second half of the fight, where now Shuichi and Claire are actually taking over and claiming more of the fight. And it's genuinely even more exaggerated, even more squash and stretch, even more impact. And it's not to say that Arai's section is bad. If anything, Arai's section stays way more on point with the character designs. Like they actually feel more on model in the first half than they do the second half. But Okita's insane smearing in the fight, it's totally worth the characters looking less like the specific character sheets and actually kind of like just, I don't know, it's worth going off model for it to look that good. And that's the thing I have to stress, right? Gleipnir looks good. That fight was good, dude. If they continue to bring that, this is gonna be like one of the action shows to watch, because holy shit, it is intense stuff. And the ending too, like speaking of intense, I really didn't see that coming at all. When Claire straight up, no hesitation, just kills Little Miss Trackstar, like that blew my mind. And at the same time, right, it enters this interesting dilemma where Shuichi's like, you killed her. And Claire's like, she was gonna kill us. And it's like, she's not wrong, Shuichi. Like, listen, like, I think Claire was right. Because, like, that girl was going to kill you. Like, straight up, not to argue with you, she was gonna kill you. You guys did provoke her, but, like, she was gonna kill you. And if she wasn't gonna kill you, she was gonna steal whatever mystery item it is that would connect Claire to her sister, like the little coin thing. So I get it. I don't condone it, but I get it. And that's the thing about Gleipnir, is there's scenes where I'm like, I don't condone it, and I don't know, but I get it. Like, I don't always agree. Like, there's some shots in this episode, some fan service scenes work really well, like Claire coming out of Shuichi, which sounds weird, but Claire leaving the mascot. It's a fan servicey shot, but it looks dope. And there's a couple scenes like that where it's fan service, but it not only does it look cool, it's very fitting for that scene. And then there's other scenes like Little Miss Trackstar at one point, there's like a panty shot, and I'm like, did you need that? Like, that felt unnecessary. But at the same time, even if it's something like that, right, where I'm like, did you need that? It just kind of furthers the attitude the show is going for. This is a very dark, gritty, but also like fun and like embracing the darkness type of show. I'm kind of all about it. I'm not gonna lie. There's not, like, I can't really think of another show this season that's like Gleipnir. And it's just one to watch. With that said, everybody, I'm gonna wrap up my thoughts here. What the hell did you guys think of that fight? Because am I alone on that, or was that the dopest thing ever? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And that's gonna do it for today's video, everybody. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then by all means hitting that like button and leaving a comment down below is a great way to help out this channel, as it pleases the almighty YouTube algorithm. So if you choose to do so, kudos to you. And if you're feeling extra supportive today, you can go ahead and check out all the links in the description. One goes to my Twitter, another one is to our Discord server, another one to our merch store if you feel like grabbing yourself a mug, and of course, our Patreon page. And speaking of the Patreon page, I do want to give a big thank you to those of you in the T Squadron who support this channel month to month. Let's go ahead and do the Earl Grey shoutouts. Izevi, Andrew W, Branson C, Bria Rose, Calvin A, Crowbar of Irony, Daniel G, Digger the Fox, Dominic G, Emily, Ionos, Urza, Ginkotaku, Godzilla Fan, No For Nothing, Maria T, Marshall B, Mater, Mirth Mouser, Cell, Shadow Creative, Stephen G, Sakochi, The Suavest Orange, Tristan G, and Veridon. Thanks so much for your continued support over on Patreon, everybody, and if you too would like to join the T Squadron, then be sure to check out the first link in the description to check out our Patreon page. That is a huge way to support the channel. And again, be sure to check out the other stuff in the Discord as well. Go join our Discord. It is now public. You can all join. Everybody can hop in the Discord. Follow me on Twitter if you want me to ramble at you even more. And until next time, you stay classy, AnyTube, and wash your dang hands.